Search after search after search. You're trying to find out how much does virtual reality training cost, but the results are uncovering more barriers than answers. Everyone says it depends on multiple factors. Example projects don't relate to your use case, and truly helpful estimates are locked behind pitch meetings. Rest assured that you're asking the right questions. Enterprise VR is complex. We've developed hundreds of VR training modules for the Fortune 500, and every time we work with someone new, the same critical questions are asked. We want to share our expertise and help you figure out if VR training is the right investment for your workforce. In this video, we're going to answer all your questions about the cost of enterprise VR, including a few aspects that may be surprising. If you're looking for a few specific answers here, click on the timestamps below to jump between topics, or watch to the end to build a project estimate. You'll learn the three main variables that drive the cost of VR training and how your use case fits. Before we can start talking about cost, you need to start with a defined idea for VR training. Some people make the mistake of skipping this step, but it sets the foundation for everything we're about to lay out. If you haven't gone through a needs analysis yet, pause now and go watch our step-by-step video to find out how well virtual reality actually fits your training need. Okay, with your analysis done, this first question will determine the category of VR that you should pursue. Is your training need unique and specific to you, or is it a general challenge that many organizations face? You can often address general training needs with off-the-shelf VR programs. These modules are designed to teach fundamentals like ergonomics, safety, or social skills. They're priced as the entry point for enterprise VR and can be one-time purchases between $10,000 and $15,000, or subscription-based models with prices ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars per month for multiple users. Depending on the topics, the content itself can be fully interactive VR with 6 degrees of freedom and 3D environments, or 360 video with film scenarios and actors. You may already know which type of VR you want, but if you've gone through the needs analysis and aren't sure, watch our guide on choosing a winning XR modality. Our best example of a fully interactive, off-the-shelf module is our all-in-one forklift training program called Pit Trainer XR. It provides the best of both cost models with a one-time price of $12,995 for the hardware and a subscription of $4,995 per year to renew analytics and maintain the XR software with unlimited users. This is a product that provides a similar experience to heavy VR development, running on purpose-built hardware, but without the high price tag of either. We're currently shipping hundreds of units out to one of the biggest retailers in the Fortune 500, and you can join the queue. Try it yourself at no cost. Head to pittrainerxr.com, and we'll send you the full kit for 60 days free of charge. So, we've talked about the reasons to choose off-the-shelf VR training, but if you're still watching, your use case is probably more specific than the examples we've shown so far. It's time to talk about custom enterprise VR and break down the 3 key variables that influence this category's cost. Variable number 1 is the level of customization. How closely do the interactive objects and environments need to match your real tools, equipment, and locations? A great example of this is different needs for clients in the supply chain industry. For one project, the workstation had to be a one-to-one match to the real thing, equipment was brand specific, and the products themselves were modeled from real SKUs. You can watch a case study of that project at the link in the description. It's a perfect example of high customization being the key to a successful project. The next variable is the complexity of the interactions. Some VR modules are designed to train a learner's attention, where they navigate a scenario and identify problems or opportunities. This was the case for a module we built for Kellanova, the snacking company. They utilize VR as a sales training tool. The interactions were simple because the focus was learning to look at a grocery environment in a new way. On the other side of interactions, VR can also train very complex processes. BNSF is a giant in the rail industry, and we've partnered with them to build modules covering locomotive engine repairs and maintenance. This is someone learning how to tension the hydraulic system of a Tier 4 locomotive. They have to pay attention to details like tightening the bolts down a specific amount and inspecting hoses for damage. The last variable is the number of modules, which is the multiplying factor for everything we've talked about so far. If your use case is complex, or you want to train multiple scenarios, the best learning will come from spreading the material over multiple modules to avoid information overload. It's common for pilot enterprise VR programs to have 1 or 2 modules to start, and built-out programs to have a dozen or more. If you want to vet your use case with us and get an idea of its scope, head to the Contact Us page on roundtablelearning.com and get in touch. We'd love to hear what your training needs are. All right, we know the 3 variables: customization, interaction complexity, and module count. How do these factors interact with each other? This does actually depend on the details of the use case, but we can group custom VR into 3 tiers: entry-level, standard, and cutting edge. Every program falls somewhere in this range, and each tier comes with a clear set of deliverables. Tier 1 of custom VR is an investment of $50,000 to $100,000. This is your entry point. It's a smart place to start if you're either new to VR training or you have a relatively straightforward process to train on. At this tier, you're typically getting your hardware in one module, maybe two if they're short. Developers can pull from existing 3D asset libraries for common environments like warehouses, offices, or standard retail stores. That keeps development time down and keeps costs manageable. These VR programs have the lowest customization, interaction complexity, and number of modules, but bring the benefits of your unique subject matter. The goal here is learner success, not photorealism. At this tier, you can absolutely achieve meaningful learning outcomes. This price point is also great for proof of concept work. You build one focused program, you measure the results, and then you make a more informed decision about scaling. Tier 2 of custom VR ranges from $100,000 to $200,000. This is the standard range for serious enterprise VR training, and is where customization really starts to show up. At this tier, developers can replicate your brand-specific tools, colors, logos, and environments. If your team uses a particular scanner for inventory management, developers build that scanner. If your employees handle products only your company carries, those also get modeled. That level of specificity matters because the closer the virtual environment mirrors the real job, the faster employees close skill gaps. There's less mental translation required between what I practiced and what I actually do at work. Tier 2 has multiple modules, greater complexity, brand-accurate environments. This is where you go from introducing VR to making VR a core part of your training program. Then there's Tier 3 of custom VR. This is where things get genuinely exciting. With a budget of $200,000 and above, you're building multi-environment programs with advanced interactions, branching scenarios, and fully custom experiences. Think simulating a realistic driving scenario from start to finish, building an entire neighborhood for field technicians to practice in, adding haptic feedback that delivers real physical sensations to the learner's hands. These are not off-the-shelf solutions. These are built from the ground up to solve problems no standard training has ever addressed. Because when you're training at scale, thousands of employees, high-stakes scenarios, complex multi-step processes, generic just doesn't cut it. The investment at this tier is justified by the magnitude of the problem you're solving. Now, to be clear, higher spend doesn't automatically mean better training, it means more capability. The right tier is the one that matches your actual learning objectives. Overspending on complexity that you don't need is just as much of a mistake as underspending on a program that can't do what you need it to do. So here's where we land. Entry-level VR training starts around $50K and gives you a focused, effective single-module program. Standard programs in the $100K to $200K range give you brand-specific customization and the depth to cover complex workflows. And at $200K and beyond, you're building something your competitors have never seen before. Finally, some of you are already thinking about the long-term logistics of a program like this. So let's answer some rapid-fire questions. Does Enterprise VR have recurring fees? Yes. While most of the cost is upfront, Custom VR has recurring fees to maintain the analytics platform and manage the hardware. Off-the-shelf VR, like PitTrainer XR, has an annual fee to renew access to training materials. What pricing options are available? We cater to multiple procurement options. Some projects are priced as a lump sum, other projects take a phased approach to the budget, and some of our clients purchase a bucket of development hours to use between one or more active programs. Can a VR program be revised or added to down the line? Yes. We've honed our development process to ensure that the final product fits your needs as closely as possible, but it is always an option to purchase more development time and make changes. Additions are similar, and can even be a cost-saving method of expanding training topics if we are able to reuse environments and assets. With those questions covered, the next step is figuring out which tier actually fits your goals. And that starts with a conversation. If you're ready to explore what a VR training program could look like for your organization, reach out to us at roundtablelearning.com. We want your training to work just as much as you do, so we're excited to hear your use case, understand your specific training challenges, and give you a realistic picture of what a real solution looks like. No fluff, no runaround. If you still have questions about the price of VR training, leave a comment and we'll answer it here or point you in the right direction. If you're not ready to reach out yet, that's fine too. We know that there is so much to learn about enterprise VR, so we're trying to provide as much helpful information as we possibly can. Keep watching our videos to learn about VR training ROI, how to measure learning outcomes for VR, and how to build the business case for immersive learning. The organizations that are pulling ahead right now are not waiting for VR training to become the standard. They're learning about it and implementing it all throughout their workforce. So the question is, will you join when others hesitate?